Hi Robert, wanted to show you the tool. I figured it might be a little bit easier with this video. I have here one entry that I made up called Aberdeen. There's some cost in there, there's some particular expenses, and just want to show you a couple ones, just a second. For example, stamp duty is at 2,000 of an expense. Surveyor fees at 800. That will be important. So once you want to make this this estimate actual project, you can click on go live, and that's just always gonna do is just move it to a different database with projects that are live. Currently it is live, so I'm gonna be able to see it. So what you're gonna do once you start having actual expenses for these studies, you're gonna come to this live project dashboard, what I've called, and you're gonna click on record expense. And this is where all the reports are gonna be. I'm not completely ready with the reports, but they're a piece of cake once you figure out this part here. So you're gonna click record expense. So what you should be seeing is this layout. So I made it a little bit bigger to fix everything. So we have 10 expenses here that we can submit. So the first thing you enter is your projects and project name. So right now we only have one live project, Aberdeen. Again, this is different list than your estimate. Your estimate, you could have 20 estimates but only 2 live projects. So Aberdeen. And if you want to copy this all the way down, if you're going to enter all 10 entries, you can just click copy and that moves it all the way down. And then you do an expense type. And from this drop down, let's say we click on surveyor fees. So the first thing you're going to notice this estimate. If you remember, we had $800 or 800 pounds in estimate. So this just gives you a value that you cannot change. You cannot click on this, but just gives you a reminder. This is what my estimate was. Then you have your date. So you fill out, let's say, the 2nd of May 13. So then you have 2 options for your expense. For your expense right here, I'll come in a second about this 230. For your expense, you have 2 options. Either you enter the value. Currently we have 230 pounds in the system for surveyor fees, and I'll show you where that is stored. For the expense, you can either enter the value, so let's say 100. Now our total expense goes to 330. Or if you want to do detailed view, so let's say this is, just imagine it's tiles. So let's say we do 2 by 2 by 4 and make this in inches, for example, but our price by inch is 1.25. So what that's going to do is automatically calculate 2 times 4 times 125 and gives you the expense of 20. And so you either enter it manually or just enter this detailed expense with the particular metrics. Then you can choose to click on VAT, and let's say we want to do 50%. So this should become 30 bucks. This is gonna stay 20, but this should become 260. So there you go. And then when you click submit to database, we're gonna say expense 1 were submitted to database. You can tag here in plural all the time. The reason why the rest of them were not, because you don't have any values for them. You just have the location. That doesn't count. So what's going to happen with these is they're stored in this, and this is going to be hidden. You're not going to see, where you see the project name, what's the cost, when was the cost recorded. Then you could have here the dimension that we just entered, 2 by 2 by 4 by 125, then in inches, my total amount, if there was VAT, what percentage that VAT was. So this is where the original 230 already cost for surveyor fee showed up, because it was summing these 2 rows right here. So right now, if we go again and we say Aberdeen surveyor fees, that total expense 260. So this is just for you to know. So far you've entered expenses for this particular cost, for this particular project, 260 pounds. And your estimates that you entered originally was at 800 pounds. So you can do this. What I want you to do is, if you want, can play around just to see if this is gonna meet the needs in terms of inputs. I've tried to make some changes. For example, if you enter a letter, it's going to tell you please enter valid number. If you and that applies to any number here. I did not do anything specific to the days to like limit it to 1 through 31st or 1 through 12 year to year, but let me know if you want me to do that. That way it's going to catch errors. But if you enter an expense, again, if you enter a VAT, it's going to calculate with the VAT. If you uncheck, it's going to remove the VAT. Or if you have it checked, but let's say you delete this VAT, change your mind, that automatically goes away from it. So play around with this. Let me know what you think. Really, mainly, I'm right now concerned about this record expenses. Do we have everything in there? Do you need anything else in terms of expenses recording? Because after we're set, it'll be very easy for me to run reports based on this database. I'll be able to give you different type of ongoing reports, fresh reports based on date, time, expenses, etc. So, all right, thank you.